What Hitler meant by Lebensraum in his own words. In this video, you will hear the words and sentences of Adolf Hitler directly as a first-hand source. His words and sentences are from his own books and translated. Yes, you heard that right. Hitler wrote 2 books, Mein Kampf, which is My Struggle, and The Zweites Buch, the second book. Lebensraum literally means living space. As you might have guessed, Hitler did not believe that the Germans had enough living space. The topic will be divided into 2 videos. First, in this video, I will show you why and how Hitler thought that the lack of living space was a problem. Secondly, in the next video, I will show you what Hitler thought the solution should be to the lack of living space. I will begin this first video with a background to get you introduced to the time and situation after World War I. The place is Germany, and the era is the 20-year interwar period that lasted from the end of the First World War in 1918 and the start of the Second World War in 1938. In World War I, 2 million German men had died and several million had been severely wounded, but were alive in Germany, one of them being Hitler. For 4 years, from the ages 25 to 29, he had served Germany in World War I. 10 years later, in 1928, Hitler had finally written both of his 2 books. By that time, he was 39 years old, born 1889. He had then already been working for the National Socialists for 9 years and held several large speeches in Bavaria and Munich. In 1928, NSDAP got 800,000 votes. With regards to Lebensraum, it's important to understand that by the 1920s, all of the leading nations of Europe were very industrialized. Ever since its unification in 1871, Germany had posed a great threat in industry towards the dominant power in Europe at that time, namely the British Empire. It really can't be emphasized enough that during these decades, the industrial nations were extremely dependent on natural resources above anything else, and the way to acquire these natural resources such as coal, food, oil, copper, iron and timber was either through a territorial policy like that of the British Empire or the French Empire, or through vast mainland holdings such as the United States or Russia had. After World War I, Germany had none of the 2, because in accordance with the Versailles Treaty, the few colonies that Germany had in Asia and Africa were now taken by the British Empire and the French Empire. Not only were the colonies taken, but also large parts of mainland Germany were taken and given to surrounding countries, such as Poland, France and Belgium. France received Alsace and Lorraine, and Poland received West Prussia. Also, besides territorial losses, because of Germany's very weak military and financial situation, Germany was not able to even control the remaining German territories. The military was almost non-existent because the Treaty of Versailles had limited Germany to an army of 100,000 men, as compared to 800,000 in 1914, and the financial situation was catastrophic because of the reparations Germany was required to pay to both the British and the French empires. The total amount was set at 226 billion gold marks, which is equivalent to roughly $1 trillion in today's value. Although it should be said that this amount was later reduced by about 40% because of Germany's inability to pay. Part of the payments were to be paid in raw materials, but in consequence of Germany not being able to pay in time, the French and Belgian troops occupied the German Ruhr area where the coal production was. Even the British did not agree to this, and the occupation worsened Germany's economy, leading to the hyperinflation of 1923. Lastly, without the consent of the League of Nations, Germany was forbidden to unite with Austria. Hitler, along with many other Germans, were extremely frustrated at the Treaty of Versailles as well as the ruling Weimar Republic, because through them Germany had lost not only its independence but also all its hope for a positive future. The end of that background takes us to part 1, the problem. Check out the next part of this documentary below.